Hey Capricorn, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon. I'll be guiding you through this week's reading. This is going to be our weekly reading for July 16th through the 22nd. At the heart of your reading, we have the 10 of Pentacles with the 9 of Wands. So you are experiencing a lot of success. You've got your eye on the prize. You might have just received some sort of financial windfall, or you know that you're headed toward a very specific goal that is all but guaranteed in order to pay off the way you want it to, but you're not done with it yet, and it is like tough to keep up with all of this. That 9 of Wands really has me feeling a sense of overwhelm, a sense of like wanting to slow down and take a deep breath, but you can't because success is just around the corner, and you've already invested so much of your energy into this that you just can't see yourself slowing down now. Yeah, you are really trying to juggle a lot and keep it all afloat, so to speak, because you have that end goal in mind, and there might be a very important deadline that you have to meet in order to achieve this goal that you've set out for yourself. There is a lot of success on the line, so I see why you're kind of putting yourself through it. And I just want to mention, for those of you who are only listening and not watching, that I'm calling out the 2 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck there. Your focus, pardon me, we have to talk about your challenge first. Your challenge is the Wheel of Fortune. You could be risking a lot and assuming that it's definitely going to pay off when the risk factor would say that the probability is lower than what you're assuming. I'm getting a little bit like playing the lottery and risking it all, like mortgaging your house to like put it all on black. That's a gambling metaphor, not a lottery metaphor, but you feel like it's your turn. You feel like it's your time, like you're owed. It is a little bit of a sense of just knowingness that you have, that it's going to pay off, it's going to work out. And this might not be specifically financial. It could just be some things in your life falling in place the way you want it to. So with Pentacles, that can be anything in the material realm. You could just be receiving like something that has value to you, whether that be monetary or emotional or psychological. Let's see your focus. You don't want to go back into a situation that you just had to pull yourself out of under much difficulty and duress. With the 6 of Swords in reverse there, you are definitely pausing or scrutinizing this. Yeah, I don't think you have time. You don't feel like you have time to pause. But the Hanged Man energy there at the bottom is telling me that you feel like it would be in your best interest to put a lot of scrutiny and focus on one specific area that has to do with going back into emotional territory that was difficult. It could be that you are going through therapy or some sort of self-work, self-actualization, and looking at emotional times of trauma from your past so that you don't repeat past patterns, so that you can really capitalize on this potential for success that you definitely feel on a like deep, strong level is possible for you in a very real way. This could also be like a business venture of you helping other people through difficult times, but it would have to involve, if that's the case, I feel like it would involve you helping them access past memories or even like past life stuff. But it's emotional. It's bringing up like emotional difficulty from the past in order to work through it and achieve the life that you want or that they want. It feels very niche, very, very like tight range of focus. In the recent past, we have the Star in reverse. Whatever you've been working through hasn't felt quite attuned to your mission in this life, your purpose for being here on the planet, to you. And I think you've been looking at it through that kind of generalization of like, if you do what you love, then the money will follow. Because I'm seeing this King of Pentacles here at the bottom. It's almost like you have been strategizing and believing that you've been doing things that are in your wheelhouse, that are playing to your strong suit, but it hasn't been paying off or bringing you the returns that you've been looking for. So it's a little bit of that confusion, but I think you feel like you have it right this time around, or you're more attuned to it this time around. It's almost as though you thought you understood that sort of what's the right word for this? It's not like an idiom, I don't think. That whole, when people say, when you follow your heart, when you follow your passion, you never feel like you work a day in your life and success will just follow, that kind of spiritual esoteric belief. Don't chase the money, chase your passion, chase your joy, and the money is just going to follow along with that. I think you feel like you've understood that in the past, but now you really do understand it. Like something just clicked recently for you this time around with this situation that you're going through. You understand it on a new level, on a higher level. In your crowning position, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. This is coming out of a period of rest and reflection, which is interesting because you, with that Nine of Wands in your main topic, you could have taken a step back in order to rest and reflect and recharge. On the other hand, this reversal could entirely mean that you're avoiding that altogether. Like, to learn perseverance and stick-to-itiveness until the job is done. And it's not even necessarily that you have to learn that, but I mean, the reason I say learning it is because the card showed up in that position. To me as a reader, this means from your higher self perspective, from your spirit support team perspective, part of the reason you're going through all of this is to make this energy more obvious to you. This energy of not backing away for mental stability when things feel overwhelming. Now, I read the reversals a few different ways, and I look at the context of the reading. So it is possible that it's like you've taken enough time to rest and reflect, so jump back into it. That could be the reversal. Like, don't overdo it with the amount of time that you take for like healing. Do it in like microdoses, so to speak. Or the reversal could mean just in a positive connotation, the avoidance of that altogether, or the delay of that in order to achieve an objective in a timely manner. In your near future, we have Strength in reverse. This is a bit of like wild energy that you normally keep under wraps, you normally keep a little bit more moderated. I feel like you're going to communicate to someone with this Page of Swords here at the bottom in a manner that is a little out of character for you. and it's going to be like a bit ferocious, a bit unbridled, but it's still going to be true to who you are. You're not going to betray your own like ethics or morals here. And I don't think you're going to regret having acted this way. It's almost like Spirit's giving me this like attaboy, like pat you on the back for having let yourself behave in this way. Whereas normally you might not allow yourself to kind of have an outburst like this. And it might even not play out as like an outburst, but it is definitely going to be this kind of wild, maybe louder than you normally are, maybe more unpredictable, maybe a little bit more rude or more less emphasizing the way that everyone else in this scenario feels about things. It's a little bit like no fucks given, or you're all out of spoons, because you are a little bit like at wit's end with this Nine of Wands. So if you do act out of character in that way, I would say don't give yourself a hard time about it. You're more likely to be able to just continue on down the path rather than have to stop and do damage control or anything like that. Like, stand in your power even if you feel... stand in your power even though... I'm sorry, I'm laughing because when I said stand in your power, the Emperor comes through. Stand in your power even if you feel like you messed up a little bit. Like, oh, I normally wouldn't have like chewed that person out, or I normally wouldn't have demanded that the venue completely it's like you're calling someone out on a mistake or something that like you expected it to be a certain way and you communicated that clearly, and then they mess up, and then you come in like appropriately upset, but instead of being reserved with the way you portray it, you're a little bit more hot-headed with it, a little bit more wild. No, it might even not be correcting. It could definitely manifest in a different way, but I do feel like this is your energy coming through in a wilder way, or a more, another word to use. Flashier? Could be like flashier. A little bit more like, look at me. A little bit more of that like being in the spotlight energy. Could be that as well. Okay, so your surprise energy is this Emperor coming through. I do feel like this is someone else, although you are definitely rising up into your own power. I feel like this is attracting the attention of someone who is in a position of power or authority in whatever field that you're operating in here. Someone who has the ability to access resources that you have difficulty accessing because of this Queen of Pentacles in reverse here. I feel like this is a little bit of your energy, like I've been trying to get a better vendor for this supply to make this item that I sell, or I've been trying to get like better turnaround times, or like I've been trying to secure more capital in order to increase my inventory to meet the demand. It has like that sort of a vibe to it, whereas someone comes through with either the expertise, you could just like watch a video and someone explains the concept or how to access the thing that you weren't even aware that process existed. Or it could be literally meeting a person face to face, or, you know, or virtually, but meeting like a person yourself one-on-one who could come through with money or some sort of using their power to support you in what you need to finish this project, and perhaps even launching and segueing into like more projects. Or yeah, that's definitely spirit. Like that's a strong acknowledgement. Sorry, I rarely get that, but my throat like closed up really strong. someone coming through to support you getting what you need in the situation to carry this project across the finish line, but probably to parlay that into something even bigger that you weren't expecting because of this person's knowledge or expertise or support in some way. Your hopes and fears, we have the High Priestess in reverse. Now you pair that energy with the Seven of Cups at the bottom, and we get doubting your intuition. When things are presented to you, you're not sure what you want or why, or like when you have a lot of options, it can feel difficult how to discern which one is the best one. Or it could be that if you have no options or limited options, you're not sure how to create more opportunity. If that's the case, if it's the latter, you feel like everyone else who's doing what you do can do that better than you do, and you're a little bit hard on yourself about it. I'm just getting, you're not meant to necessarily do it the way that everyone else does it. And that's a difficult thing for Earth energy to hear, I think, because you like to follow like the tried and true method to success and happiness. But you might be in some fashion really meant to like blaze your own trail here. Come up with some new ways, some new approaches on how to do things. Not necessarily for the overall project that you're working on, but parts of it. The end result here is the Five of Cups. So this has you or the people you're working with or working for. I do feel a little bit like it's your clients, although this might not be a business reading at all. I feel like it's tied to this energy of your focus, of this going back in order to access the energies from the past that were emotionally difficult. Because this doesn't feel fresh to me. This doesn't feel like a fresh loss or grieving something that ends. It feels like something that you never grieved for, that's old, that's like a year or more in your past. And it's not even necessarily you. Like I said, you could be like spearheading this effort to help other people through grief or process loss or resolve childhood trauma or generational trauma. And if that's the case, like, because this feels very positive, like a success to me. You'll succeed in being able to access that grief. Yeah, with the Six of Cups in reverse there at the bottom of the deck, it's like the grief that resulted because of naivety, of not knowing any better, of trusting when it wasn't warranted. Your advice is the Four of Wands in reverse. Don't get overly tied to certain timelines, not in the esoteric sense, but in the very 3D reality sense of like setting a goal and saying, okay, this aspect of things needs to be completed by such and such a date. I feel like if you do that, you run the risk of losing the momentum. Whereas if you leave a little bit more wiggle room or flexibility in that, like don't throw the goal out, but build in like a buffer. Say, like primary goal is to accomplish it by August 1st. Secondary goal, accomplish it by August 15th. Like the third best goal would be to accomplish it by such and such a date. This might not be like a helpful suggestion, but I'm trying to convey like the building in flexibility. because I do feel like the benchmark that you want to reach is reachable within a reasonable time frame, but not necessarily like the exact date that you have in mind, or possibly that someone else in the situation has set a deadline for you. If there's any sort of deadline, I'd say it's likely you're not going to hit it. If that resonates with you, you discern, like if you think you can hit it, keep going, don't listen to me. But if that resonates with you, then see what you can do to build in some flexibility with that, because if you don't, you may not be able to attain the goal in the same way. I'm not sure exactly how that would play out. Obviously, there's more than one of you watching, so it's going to play out different ways for each of your lives. But anyway, I hope that helped, and I wish you a great week. See you back next time.